This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3,484. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, once again, we play Big Dummy. Ted's Meat and Potatoes brings the hate with foods that you cannot stand. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack.
Drink until drunk. All right, here we go to India, where a bride dies of a heart attack at the wedding. So the groom marries her sister instead. It should also be noted they drug her body into a room next door when she was dead. To England, where a truck hauling tomato puree crashes, making road look like a horror scene. In Arizona, sales go through the roof after they legalize the green. And a Nebraska drunk driver hits 5 parked cars before blowing through a fire hydrant. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, today is the day that we play Big Dummy, the game show that rewards you for your stunning ignorance. Here's how it works. You call us. We will spin the... I'm getting there, man. We will spin the category wheel, and then we will ask you a question from that category. But here is where Big Dummy separates itself from your average, more reputable game show. We will continue to ask you questions until you get one right, because as always, we want you to leave here smarter than you showed up. Now, so far this year, our biggest dummy has been the lovely and talented Tyler, who puts both the big and the dummy in Big Dummy after he answered 14 consecutive questions wrong. Can you do better? Well, of course you can. Everyone else has. So give us a call, and off we go on Big Dummy.
Big contestant to play Big Dummy. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Home Jones, and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3,484. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, the head chef is back. Ted's Meat and Potatoes, bringing the hate. Hate. People do hate all kinds of different foods. And typically when a food goes away, people bitch, like Taco Bell. Take something off their menu. I love that thing.
Right.
But, the foods that people hate are still there.
Well, hate food's pretty simple, too. Like, if I asked everybody, what's your favorite food of all time, you think about it. But I'd be like, Thrill, what do you hate?
Asparagus, name a vegetable.
Right. For me, it'd be mushrooms. It's pretty easy to just fire them off.
Lima beans for me. I don't think that is a vegetable or whatever that is. Liver and onions, probably the worst thing on this planet.
It's a legume, Miles.
Scallop potatoes, I'll throw in there.
You don't say liver and onions. You just say liver. The onions are kind of like, why do you keep roping me into this? People like me everywhere until I got to team up with my buddy Liver here.
Because if you go someplace, I don't know, like Bob Evans or something, and they have it on the menu, it's always liver and onions.
They know their audience.
I can't believe they have it on the menu.
The only people that eat liver and onions are people like my dad, who I'd say are over 65.
Right.
And then chefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes you see those food shows I really like this. I'm like,
Do you really?
No, you don't. And prune juice or somebody. So is this broken down, you said, by state, I guess?
Correct.
Every state's food that they hate the most. Coming up with the head chef.
Let it out.
And Ted's Meat Potatoes. And today is the day we play the game known as Big Dummy. It's an easy game to play. We'll spin the category wheel. You're either playing for Team Sober or Team Not Sober. As you said, Steve, our biggest dummy so far has been Tyler. It took him 14 questions to get one right. And every time we play Big Dummy, we like to do a little men's room poll. Now, the last time was a hypothetical. Basically, what it was you had already been on a date with someone.
Okay.
Now, as you're getting set for the second date, a bunch of different things have transpired. Maybe on the first time you went on a date, the person you were out with told you to shut up and be quiet. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't let you talk the entire time. Yeah, I'm speaking right now, just shut up. The other option was they are a vegan. So you knew that going out. Maybe that was a little bit difficult at dinner, maybe not. Based on everybody who texted in and emailed us, it seems like there's a lot more vegan options out there these days. It's a lot easier to eat out.
Sure.
Self-defense killing was another thing, as we got that little idea from a listener to the show. Basically, the idea is this. You go on a date with someone, and then before the second date, they had to kill someone in self-defense.
Yeah.
All right? And then the other one was being rude to the waitstaff, which we all know is a very uncomfortable situation to be in. Bless you, Ted. So as we ask you to do when you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, we put the poll up there. Here are the results on last week's poll. You go on a second date after number 4 with 3% was someone being rude to the waitstaff. So think about that. All of those scenarios, and the one person that you would not want to go on a second date with is the person who was rude to the waitstaff.
I agree.
A lot of people can agree with that. 8% of you said, told you to shut up. You don't want to go out with them again. But as far as being a vegan goes, that came in second place. 38% of you said, you know what, man, I can handle being a vegan, but without a doubt. Out of all those options, 55% said, you know what, self-defense killing, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I am.
I can go with that person again. So that's how the poll shook down last week. Now, we have been discussing a few times just as far as the stories that are popping up in the news of bear attacks and everything else. We got into a discussion the other day about Hawaii, and I thought maybe that would be the safest place I would feel like if I pitched a tent, that I wouldn't have to worry about what was creeping and crawling around at night.
And so people pointed out that the things that creep and crawl around Hawaii are not necessarily outside of your tent. They're probably inside of your tent, which came down to those venomous centipedes, which are huge.
Correct.
And like black widow spiders and stuff.
There's always going to be something. But we decided to put you in more of a precarious situation. So you're going to camp for 1 week in a tent out in the middle of nowhere. So here are your options where you can choose to pitch that tent and stay for the week. Will it be the African savanna? Now, this is where all of the lions are. This is where the the crocodiles are. Hippos are there. We had the story about the boat being chased by a hippo in a river.
We had a guy who called in who he was on a nature reserve and pointed out the baboons. He shook a stick at him and basically said about 20 of them turned around and were like, do it again, that's your ass.
Yes. Or the guy that basically stopped and said, look, if the wind blows this direction and the elephants who are in
mating season.
Yeah, mating season.
If they
they're running,
smell
whatever, then they're going to come and stomp you out.
Right. They're going to come look for you to stomp you out.
Now, this has nothing to do with the insects in the area, the snakes, everything else that we know to be true about Africa, but you would spend a week in the African savannah in your own tent. Okay? Your second choice. In my mind, the second most dangerous place on Earth, maybe the first, that would be the Australian outback. Okay?
Yeah.
We talked a lot about Australia. You know what's out there. It's a crazy place. There's all kinds of things that can kill you. And as we have noted, one of those things was just like basic jellyfish.
Everything.
You know, 10 minutes and you're dead. So like everything in the Australian
Even
outback.
stupid things like, what is it, the platypus? And then they have a venomous barb in their tail. I mean, every single thing. And a kangaroo who has no venom, he'll punch you in the face.
And not to mention those spiders. They're not camelback spiders. They're huntsman spiders, I believe.
Yes.
All right. They're pretty big themselves. And keep in mind, when you put up a tent, it's going to be a shelter for a lot of different things. Yeah, there's going to be food there. Everything's going to be able to smell everything. I mean, this is where you're going to stay for a week. Number 3, that would be the base camp at Mount Everest. Now, this is the time of the year where hikers from all over the world, they descend on Mount Everest to try to get to the top. This is typically the window of time that they get a shot at that bad boy. A few people have made it up already this year. It's still an interesting situation this year, especially because there was a COVID-19 outbreak at base camp.
Right.
Now, you already have to deal with the fact that I'm pretty sure the base camp is at about 17,000 feet. So as far as having any kind of altitude sickness or any of those things, and to be honest with you, if you've ever seen a picture, there's no real place to put a tent down.
No.
There's none. I mean, it's rocks. I mean, you look like you're on Mars or the moon or some crap. You're going to eat that crappy food. It's freezing cold. And again, the altitude, there was a situation a couple of years ago where a massive avalanche came down and basically wiped out the entire base camp.
Dude, I read a whole article over a guy that like had been planning it for years, and he went up there and he's like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Because there's like literally there's lines. What's the famous ice shelf or something?
There's a few places where things bottleneck up.
Yeah, and he was like, you would get work, like you're working out, and he's like, and then you would literally just sit there. He was like, we never stop for water again.
Yeah, well, and keep in mind, you're not even going to try to make the ascent. You're just going to try to make it to base camp. And a lot of adventure companies, they will offer you an excursion where you go to base camp, and you can actually stay there for a few nights, and you come back down. The one thing about this hike and how you get in there is incredible amounts of dysentery. Dysentery from the time that you get starting on that trail all the way up there. Basically, you're going to have a hard time using the bathroom. And the fourth option we have for you is Yellowstone National Park, which, as you know, as far as North America is concerned, I'm pretty sure
that's our outback, right?
Yeah, that's got to be the one spot. I was trying to think, is there anywhere else that would be considered that dangerous? And I can't think of any location.
As far as wildlife
in North America. Granted, I wouldn't want to, camp in Nome, Alaska with a threat of polar bears outside or whatever those things are concerned, but there's just so many different elements that come into play when you camp at Yellowstone National Park. So our men's room poll, you got to camp for 1 week in a tent. Will you pick the African Savannah, the Australian Outback, Mount Everest Base Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
What are you picking?
Out of all these, I think I have to go with Mount Everest Base Camp.
I knew you'd pick that. And to me, that's the worst one.
It might be the worst one, but the threat of any type of animal ruining my life does not exist. This is on me.
They will not ruin your life. They will end it.
They will end my life.
Yes. I'm taking Africa.
Right.
And look, I understand what's outside of my tent. And I'm not saying I'm going to do this and sleep well at night, but Yellowstone's got wolves. And to me, like wolves, they might not be as badass as a lion, but they're a lot more aggressive, right? To me, that's problematic. All right?
How many deaths have been attributed to grizzly bears just this year alone at Yellowstone? I want to say it's 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I mean, and that just this year. Then there's the bison.
Yeah, I'm still taking Africa. I really do.
Okay,
I really am, because one. I feel like at Yellowstone, I might, and look, it'll still end my life, but I'll convince myself, well, the elk, I mean, yeah, he's aggressive, but he's not a carnivore, and then he's going to headbutt me and kill me. The bison, they're not trying to eat meat. I understand everything in Africa, at least in my mind, it just wants to kill me and eat me. It could be a giraffe. I'm like, sure, he's eating leaves, but given the chance, he's going to eat my ass.
Yep.
Ted?
Go ahead. It does say that grizzly bear attacks in Yellowstone are fairly rare. There's only 8 people that have been fatally attacked by these bears since 2010.
Okay. It was a black bear or something. I just know like a ranger got eaten and everything else. So is there something?
Maybe he got mauled.
Yeah, probably got mauled, but a couple of people.
You can survive a mauling.
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
Like
I'm defending a bear mauling because I'm going to Yellowstone.
You go to Yellowstone?
I'd like to see like the African safari and the Australian outback. I'm with you. I have no interest in the Everest thing.
No.
But
it's too cold.
Yellowstone, I don't know, man. I've been out in the nature, like, somewhere in the Northwest. So I'm just like, feel like that's my best shot.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, you chased a bear away and peed around your tent so he wouldn't show up. So you're kind of already...
I know the bear essential smile.
Wilderness Ted's already there.
Somebody points out, it says, having camped at Yellowstone, the animals are not the only things that you need to worry about. There's a lot of craggy rocks and a lot of seismic activity there as well.
Oh, yeah, man, if that thing blew...
Yeah, someone's saying a lot of times people take the wrong step, ground gives way, and they fall into the hot pit of boiling water. We hear that, right? So,
Yellowstone's also so big.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, base camp's the only specific one, but these other places are massive. So I'm like, I'd probably try to scout out where in Yellowstone I'd feel safer.
And I guess they offer...
Based on what? Based
on not by a volcano and...
But we're city dudes. Like, I don't even know where I'd begin to say, I'm in the African safari. Okay, it's in the open. Well, if that's the case, how does that help me? How does that benefit me?
I'm just saying, if I'm in an open meadow, you get up and, like, look around.
You're going for the meerkat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Poke your head up,
you know what, man? I think based on nature shows that I watch, I think the safest place in a weird way to be able to camp would be near water. Because if you look at, like...
Why do you think that? If you're in Africa or Australia, all right? So now you got these giant-ass crocodiles. Not even like the standard American alligator. Right? We are talking massive, massive crocodiles. And the problem is, people always say they're in the water. It's like, right, but when they're not in the water, they're right next to the water. I do not want to camp near where I think crocodiles
a river is different, I think, than compared to like a
but
lake.
It's water.
It is water, but I think a lake would be, I think in North America, you would be more opportune to camp near a river based on the fact that there is a food source there. So if bears are coming down, they're coming down to get trout, they're coming down to get salmon and everything.
Yeah, but I'm also there.
If you're in a lake in Africa, you've seen the videos where like every single animal in the area finally gets along. And
that one moment, they're cool.
They're cool. So maybe you'd be cool there too.
But the problem is when you watch some all these, and you're right, you will see elephants next to lions. And I remember watching one, they showed the bull elephant and the leader of the pride of lions. They both were on the perimeter eyeing each other, okay? But their cubs, both the little elephant calf and the lion cub, they were kind of learning how to defend / fight each other. So everyone's drinking at the watering hole, and the two babies go out there and they're acting out their instincts. So the lion's trying to figure out how to paw the elephant's trying to figure out how to like headbutt the thing, but they're playing. They're not, it's aggressive, but they're not trying to kill each other. And again, the bull and the leader of the pride are staring at this. And when one group was done drinking water, they all saw, and I think the elephants left first. They did whatever call they do to get the calf back, and the calf left, and the baby lion trotted back in. But again, if I'm there, it's cool that they're getting along, but when they're done drinking water, it's the equivalent of someone saying, hey, I can beat your ass, but I'm going to drink this beer. And as long as I'm drinking beer, I'm not going to beat your ass. You're like, cool. But then you realize he's half done with his beer, and it's like, bad things are coming. Also at those watering...
It could happen.
Also...
I equate it to a bar.
But wait, also at those watering holes, sometimes when everyone's drinking, those crocodiles go, this is a great time to snatch something because everybody's here. And it doesn't matter if it's a zebra or if it's the baby elephant or the lion. I don't want to be there.
Typically a gazelle. Something like that. Always seems like thinking one of those things.
But remember, the baby elephants, they kind of have to get on there, dip the whole the front half of their body in there to get their trunk to reach. And I've seen these videos where they just rip these bad boys in there. And sure, Mama Elephant handles these crocodiles, but I'm not trying to be a part of that.
Okay.
That's just me. But I'm still camping in Africa, but not near the water, man.
You still have your tent?
My little Marlboro tent that I got all those years ago?
Yeah.
I sure do, Miles.
You do. When's the last time you used the tent? I'm trying to think of the last time I spent
the gorge.
It's been a while.
Okay,
all right.
And actually, the last time I went to the gorge, it ended up not being my tent. It was just a goddamn rain flap, so I'm laying directly on the ground with the rain flap over me.
Every time I go camping, it rains, too, so it's not going to probably happen in any of these locations.
Always put on the rain fly. That's it.
And somebody here points out, it says, Mount Everest is littered with dead bodies.
Oh, the whole thing. Except for a base camp. You got to remember a base camp, it's a little mini town. So once you get up on that mountain, there's all kinds of crazy stuff up there.
Yeah.
But to get there is still a crazy hike it's an alpine hike. So you can slip, you can fall. You still have to carry a big ass pack, and it takes you a couple days to get there. So I don't want to go through all that just to camp in a place I don't want to be.
I'm open meadow. I got my tent set up. I'm staying 100 yards away from the wolves, 25 from the elk.
And keep in mind, you got the squirts the whole time. And I don't know if you've ever had the squirts in like in an opportune place, like Disney World or something, where you're just like, man, it hurts. You got to walk around everywhere. So that sucks. So like just hiking with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With swamp butt? No way. That would be worse.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing happening to your stomach's not good anywhere, even at home. Like, God, can I stop?
But I feel like if I'm in the outback of Africa, somehow that would help me out. I would do what you did, Ted. Instead of pee around my tent, I would just squirt around my tent. I don't know if that helps.
But look, man.
But does that
animals
help
would eat it. That's why
But the animals that eat poop generally are not the animals you're worried about.
Yes, they are. Like a bear will dig up a hole in the woods and eat someone's fecal matter if they've even dug down to use the bathroom and covered it.
Really?
So, yeah. It's just like the same thing as a dog eating a cat's turd. Depending on the food that you eat. I mean, look, man.
That is called cat candy?
You ate McDonald's, right? I mean, this bear's never had McDonald's. It doesn't matter if it's fresh in your mouth or fresh out the back. He's like, this tastes pretty good.
But I feel like in Africa, I don't know. I can't imagine a lion doing it. Maybe a hyena. Maybe. But they're scavengers. I don't think they just go to the poop well. Yeah, I feel safe for that. And look, this is based on nothing. I have absolutely no idea, but I would have the tent with all the poop around it.
I think humans are the only thing on this planet that don't eat other animals' poop.
Well, we eat vomit.
Well, we regurgitate it.
No, like honey.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like to a bee.
All right.
Think about what a bee thinks. A bee says, look, man, these two-legged pink-ass monkeys that walk around, like, if you throw up, they love this stuff. They charge money.
That is true.
It's delicious.
And I think when it comes to, like, feces around your campsite and stuff, like, they're not used to yours. So it's different.
Right, correct.
Like, I walk by dog poop all the time. If you don't pick up your dog poop, you're the worst person.
But have you found a circle of dog poop?
Right. But once in a while, you walk by and go, that's human poop. That shouldn't be there.
But I feel like I'm marking my turf. And again, this might backfire and I'm encouraging animals to maul me. I have no idea, but that's my plan.
Our men's room poll, you got to camp for 1 week in a tent. Where will it be? The African Savannah, the Australian Outback, the Mount Everest Base Camp, or Yellowstone National Park? That is your men's room poll. We'll take a break and come back with Big Dummy right after these.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
All right, the game is Big Dummy. 206-421-ROCK. Steve, who is our first contestant, ready to play the big game.
Hello, Ray. Welcome to the men's room.
How you doing?
Hola! Ray, are you on team sober or team not sober today?
Team not sober.
Ray, welcome to the show. All right, man.
Thank you.
Our men's room poll, you got to camp for 1 week in a tent. Where will it be? The African Savannah, the Australian Outback, Mount Everest Base Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Attaboy.
That's right, you're going to Yellowstone.
No particular reason, just Yellowstone.
You just want to drink with Ted?
Yeah, I'm just not allowed to leave the country, that's all.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask, man. You're still welcome in my tent.
You said you're not allowed to leave the country.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, interestingly enough, then, if you did leave the country, camping in the middle of Africa, Australia, or the base camp of Mount Everest, probably the best place to be.
Yeah.
Who's looking?
Probably, or Costa Rica, yeah.
Man, don't do Costa Rica. I feel like everyone that tries to escape the country, for whatever reason, and I'm not asking in spite of my character, goes to Costa Rica.
Or Thailand.
I'm guessing Costa Rica does not have extradition.
Costa Rica? I think
Costa Rica does not, yeah.
Okay.
I thought Belize was the only one that still
I'm
did.
just kidding. I'm in no serious I got no problems.
You just don't have a passport.
In my mind,
that's right.
In my mind, the feds want you. Brazil, that's the other one.
I was going to seriously ask. Like, I've never heard of you can't leave the country. I've heard of, like, you're not welcome in our country.
Right.
If you leave, it's a hard time coming back is what it is.
Ah, I see. Then go somewhere nice.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like a Bronx
Go to
Tale.
Mexico, they don't care. You can come on in Mexico. Come on in, but getting back in the country might be rough.
Now you can't leave.
We do that every border stop.
Yeah.
You go to Canada, man. They're like, oh, yeah, come on in, go to Tim's.
Yeah.
You come back in, they're like, what are you doing in Canada?
So good. Vacation? Sure. Get out of your car. Yeah. Did you enjoy
12 hours.
Did you enjoy your maple syrup and stuff?
And a lot less yelling.
What do you mean?
Like when I landed in London, like there was a lot of security. And they ask you questions, but they're nice. Like as soon as I got, like when I was going through customs here, just seems like a lot more yelling.
There's a lot more
this
yelling.
line's that line, like this and that. Like people are confused.
We landed in Barcelona, and this is the most serious airport I've seen, man. When you get off the plane, all right, they have a ton of security guards, but all of them have their rifles at the ready.
Oh, yeah.
Same in Jamaica. They say, welcome to Jamaica. They've all got, like, machine guns. But it works, because I'm like, look, man, sometimes I like to be up to no good. I'm not effing around in this airport, man. They look like they want to shoot you.
Yep.
All right. Your first question, right?
All right.
What is the last name of the founder of Papa John's pizza chain?
Oh, man. I can't remember his dang name.
You remember?
Does it start with a P? Is it like Peppa?
No, it's close to William Shatner.
I can't remember.
God, we were just talking about him on the podcast.
It's a horrible last name.
Is his first name John? His first name
is John.
Schneider?
Yeah, it's John.
No.
Jesus.
Schnatter. John Schnatter.
Hey, you got a Schnatter on your shirt, buddy. You might want to
They do have Papa Dilias now.
What the hell's Papa Dilia?
You know, like Pizza Hut has the Pizzone. So Papa John's has like...
Papa John's has a Philly cheesesteak?
Yeah, in their papadilla. Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm. Well, Ted, he's one step ahead of you, bro. He's already eating
kidding.
But he doesn't know his last name. All right, here's your question.
No.
After his stint as Robin, what new persona did Dick Grayson adopt?
After Robin?
Yeah, so he was Robin for a while.
Man.
It's much
Grayson.
cooler.
No, not Grayson. Oh, my goodness. I can't remember that either. Oh, you guys got me.
And it's much better than Robin. He even changed his outfit. Like, I'm done with this. Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Oh, that's right.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound a lot
Marvel
better.
Comics. I'm not a comic book guy, yeah.
Well, then you'll love this question. What is the home planet of the Transformers?
Holy... Don't know. I'm going for a record here, I guess.
You're only 3 deep, man. You're all right. All right, come on, Mike. I can see you scrunching your forehead. It's the home planet of the Transformers.
Is it a real planet?
No.
It's like Cybertron or something.
It is
like
Cybertron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because Megatron's the leader.
I'm 57 years old. Holy smokes.
All right, your question. We were just talking about this country. The Mexican flag features an eagle eating what other animal?
It's eating an animal?
Yes, it is.
Is it a snake?
Oh! I was going to guess Chihuahua, but okay.
The U.S. flag originally had an eagle with a chihuahua in its talons.
The game is leading a small dog if you're an eagle. Big Dummy 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola. Scott, are you sober or not sober?
Definitely not sober.
Definitely not sober, Scott. Okay, Scott. Camp for 1 week in a tent where? The African Savannah, the Australian Outback, Mount Everest Base Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
Yellowstone all day. I love Montana.
Okay.
All right. By the way, going back to the Nightwing, Robin took the identity of Nightwing. So someone chimed in. I'm going to read it in the voice I believe they have. I've not spoken to this person. This is simply a text they sent me. You should clarify which Robin. Other answers include Nightwing, Agent Racing, Red Robin, Red Hood, and Batman himself. Okay.
All the above.
All the above.
Wait, he had all those names, or are you just saying, like, when you ask about Robin, it's Batman and Robin?
There's a bunch of Robins. It's not all just Dick Grayson, and then there's a bunch of different authors that all
Jesus
have their own
Christ.
take.
How many different Robins were there? How can you be Robin? Dick Grayson was Robin. That's what it is to me. All the rest of
There's like 70 years of Batman.
Okay, he's old.
You have to say it insultingly.
I know. I need to get up on my Robin knowledge, apparently. How many Batmans were there? Was there only one?
I think it was always Bruce Wayne, and then there was Robin, but
there's all the different
like I
Robins.
said, there's like a dozen or more writers, so everybody has their own take.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, if I'm up to be the next Robin, I'm going to turn it down. Like, bro, you don't have a great track record with the sidekick. You know what I'm saying?
You should just ask the Reverend Fuego. He has all the answers.
No, I will not do that. I don't have time for the Rev to break it down. All right, what do you got,
Looks
Mike?
like there were 5 Robins. At least that's what Wikipedia is saying. You got Dick Grayson, you got Jason Todd, you got Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne.
Stephanie Brown.
Stephanie Brown.
That sounds like someone you want to take to prom. All right, here's your question. What is the second largest planet in the solar system?
Damn it. I guess this is second time. Saturn.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. I was going to guess Uranus because that's typically how it goes.
I thought you were just going to insult my anus.
Exactly. Game is Big Dummy, 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Charlie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Charlie, are you sober or not sober? Sober. Charlie, welcome to the show. All right, Charlie, we're going camping on our men's room pole. Camp for a week in a tent where? The African Savannah, Australian Outback, Mount Everest Space Camp, or Yellowstone National Park.
I watched a documentary on how to survive in the Outback. So I'm going to say the Outback.
Go down to Australia.
All right.
That'd be cool.
What's the main thing you need to know? If you gave me one piece of advice to survive the Australian Outback, what would you tell me?
Well, you got to wear a cowboy hat and I think leather pants.
Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
I know.
Okay.
I know. One strategy. 90%, I believe, of kangaroos are left-handed.
Yeah.
So just remember, you're going to box a southpaw. So be careful.
I've
It's
read
coming
that
from
too.
the other side. So just be aware.
Thank you, Miles. That is important advice.
It is.
By the way, comic book guy checked back in, and I said I was guessing his voice, and he said, "You're not too far off."
All right.
Yeah, you're not too far off.
Hot
I'm gonna you.
Hot Pocket Night.
I need a Okay. All right. Here is your question. What was Wayne Gretzky's jersey number?
3.
Was it 99?
It was 99.
99.
Red Hood wore that.
Isn't Gretzky like? I think 99's retired.
It is absolutely retired.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why
if you're
Lemieux
clever-
wore 66.
So you get 66 and then skate upside down, piss everybody off.
I have it on good knowledge too. If you play in a beer league, you should not wear 99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's a beer league, man. Come on.
Why? Is it disrespectful?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know.
That would have been the number I picked. You know, I mean, like, if you said it's beer league, I'd be like, oh, yeah, man. I'm gonna
Would
take
you wear
99.
42 in slow pitch softball?
I absolutely would. Guess what number I wear in basketball? Go ahead.
23.
How'd you know? All right, here's your question. Where would you find an event horizon?
A black hole.
All right. Very good.
That's why I call my butt cheeks the event horizon.
People are on fire today. Game is Big Dummy, 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hola. Scott, are you sober or not sober?
I am stone cold sober.
Welcome to the show, sir. All right,
sir.
Scott. Our men's room pole camp for 1 week in a tent where? Africa, Australia, Mount Everest Space Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
Man, I'm headed to the Outback.
Back down under. Oh, man, get a blooming onion.
Why do you pick the Outback? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm just looking forward to the after trip to Fiji, man.
The after trip to Fiji.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, Americans do very well in Perth as far as the ladies are concerned as well.
I've read that.
Yeah.
That's why I plan on visiting Perth sometime.
Perth is just out there.
And no, Shannon Sharp, we're not talking about a woman's handbag. It's actually called Perth. All right, here's the question. What Oscar-winning actress could not attend the premiere of her own movie because of her skin color back in 1939? Like, you won Best Supporting Actress. You can't be here.
Oh, man. You got me on that one.
I give you a hint. She was black. Think of all the black actresses you know from 1939. She was in Gone with the Wind. That's why she actually won her Oscar.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know any.
Hattie McDaniel.
Yeah, I did not have that one.
No. It's like, what an honor to not, be here, but thanks. Who do you think accepted it on her behalf? Hattie couldn't be here tonight, because she's black. So I'm sure she's saying, thank you, F you, kind of rolled into one speech. I really don't know.
There's no way they said that. Probably just went, she is so happy. She wished she could have been here, but we don't allow it.
She wished she could have been
here. And we don't mind.
Isn't that ironic based on the movie?
But she's black lady folk, and that ain't happening. On with the show. She is not. It's 1939.
Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't shock
She does not feel blessed.
All right, your question.
The vibes in this room suck.
The Pyrenees Mountains separate Spain from what other country?
Separates Spain.
You got two options.
What are my options?
Well, I'm not going to.
Come on, man. You should know the two countries on either side of Spain.
Spain's like the meat in their European sandwich.
Yeah. Let's go with France.
Let's go with France.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
The other one, Scott, is Portugal. Right.
I was only going to say France because of the size of the Pyrenees dog.
The Pyrenees dog? Is that a breed?
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah. What? It's like a St.
Never
Bernard.
heard of the Great Pyrenees?
I don't know, man. What does it look like?
You'll know if you see it. When you see it, you're like, oh, my God, look at that dog.
The Great Pyrenees.
Game is big.
That sounds like some Greek, like, I am the Great Pyrenees.
Dude, they are massive.
It is just like that.
Okay,
just with 4 legs.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's like a wolf mixed with a lab.
No, that's all right, dude.
But I knew there was mountains in France. So I was like, it's got to be France because I'm not really familiar with mountains in Portugal.
You think they're on the Spain side or the French side? I'm going to say that dog's on the Spanish side.
The one that's frowning is in France. Game is Big Dummy, 206-421-ROCK.
Big Dummy!
Hello, Trevor. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, everybody.
Hola. Trevor, you sober or not sober?
I am sober, driving a dump truck.
All right, driving the dump truck. Sweet. Pull by my house sometime. I might have a load for you. All right, Trevor.
I'll take you.
You need to camp for 1 week in a tent. Will it be in the African Savannah, Australian Outback, Mount Everest Base Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
I'm going to the Outback. Get me a bloomin' onion.
Heck yeah, you are. And get some of those Aussie cheese fries, too. Famous in Australia.
Yes.
Australia, they put cheese and bacon on their fries.
And all they drink is Foster's.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll get a Foster's with it, too.
Right, why not?
And bring a big knife. Just say this is a big knife.
If you have a good enough friend, then we'll split some kookaburra wings, man. The official chicken wing of Australia.
The kookaburra, yeah. Anyone know what a kookaburra looks like?
Not sure.
If a kookaburra landed in the studio right now, would we go like, I know what a panda bear looks like. I know a kangaroo.
Kind of hoping that was Australian for chicken.
Kookaburra. It's Australia for
I
chicken.
think it's tougher with birds.
What, to identify birds?
Yeah, like mammals are pretty easy.
All right, look, man, you got with chickens, turkeys. You got a disco turkey, also known as a peacock. You'd identify an eagle, a hawk, a sparrow, a swallow, a seagull, a pelican.
Orioles. All right, I guess maybe it's foreign
magpies, crows,
Cardinals,
ravens,
blue
cardinals.
jays.
Look, I don't know what that bird from Australia looks
robins.
like.
I'm just saying the kookaburra. That's all, man. You know your birds, Ted. Give yourself some credit. Call you the bird man. All right. Here is your question.
Get a mohawk.
Yeah.
Birdman.
Birdman. All right, actress Laurie Metcalf, better known as Aunt Jackie on the Connors. She was also the voice of which Toy Story character?
Jessie.
Now, Jessie was...
Joan Cusack.
Right, Joan Cusack. She is important to the movie, but she's not in it much.
Bo Peep.
Andy's mom. All right, your question. What 1973 song was singer Carly Simon's only single to top the Billboard charts? It's also the only song I can name from her.
I have no idea.
You're so
I was
vain.
alive in 73.
Yeah, okay, you don't need to rub it in, brother. I understand.
We were barely alive.
Yeah. The song is You're So Vain. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you.
Did you ever say who it was about?
What's it, Warren Beatty?
That was the rumor.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's Warren Beatty.
But I remember years ago she was like playing a private show on like Martha's Vineyard or something. She's like, I'll tell that crowd.
Right, yes. Because you all paid $2,000 to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, they went to Paul Simon the night before, now they're Carly Simon. I know they're not related, but that's the same crowd.
She should have really, man, just thrown a monkey wrench in it. I was thinking about Oscar the Grouch.
It's a Simon week on Martha's Vineyard.
Carly, Paul.
Yeah, Simon LeBon.
All right, your question. What type of woodland creature is a fennec?
Is a what?
Is a fennec. F-E-N-N-E-C. Yes.
Foxy lady. Very good.
Fennecy lady.
Fennec, huh?
Yep, a fennec.
Okay. Game is Big Dummy, 206-421-ROCK.
Big Dummy!
Hello, Stoner Jen. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. Jen, men's room, Paul, where you camping? African Savannah, Australian Outback, Mount Everest Space Camp, or Yellowstone National Park?
I gotta go Yellowstone.
Going to Yellowstone.
A lot of us are.
Mm-hmm.
Can't dig it.
Camp Dig It.
Is that the home of Camp Dig It? All right, Jen. Here is your question. It's multiple choice. Caesar, Augustus, Julius, or Charlemagne? Who was the first Roman emperor?
Julius?
Charlemagne.
How did you get that? Augustus.
Oh.
Did you just guess or did you know?
Here's my logic of it. Because they named a month after him, and I was pretty sure he was the first of the two, the other one being Julius, to get the month named after him. So that's why I assumed that the first one was Augustus.
Okay, so with that in mind, this is the question that popped into my mind. So Augustus was first. Julius was some point, I don't know if he was second, but somewhere down the line. So Augustus added a month, August, in his name, right? Because he's the man. So you think Julius intentionally put it right in front of his month as an nephew,
July?
right? Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, I'm going to just step you right there.
You'd think that he'd be tired of people being behind him.
There you go. Jen likes that joke. All right, Jen, here's your question. First published in 1988, who wrote the book A Brief History of Time?
Oh, goodness.
I could give you a hint, but I won't. He's a scientist.
Oh. Andropenis.
Yes, we can play an actual quote from him.
Andropenis.
Any guesses, Jen?
Oh, goodness. I don't want to pass, but I don't know what to guess.
Guess a scientist.
Speaker. I don't know.
Beaker.
I thought Beaker.
Right.
I was thinking Rick from Rick
Hey,
and
he's a
Morty.
Muppet. I mean, he's a Muppet scientist.
He's a scientist.
He's a scientist.
Jen, you're right. That's just... that would be Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking.
Question number 3, Jen.
Dang it.
I mean, we gave you as many hints as we could.
I know. I'm just being a dummy.
It's all right. All right, your question. What 2005 American Idol winner also won the Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 2007?
Was it Carrie Underwood?
It was. Very good.
I thought you
More
should go Miss Piggy.
Big Dummy coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.